for the past 15 years. So let's fucking go. Today's DTP workout is going to consist of arms and abs. DTP stands for Dramatic Transformation Principle, but to get the full breakdown on DTP, go to the overview page where you'll get all the information needed and you need to watch before going to these exercise videos. We'll be doing 4 exercises for arms and just 1 exercise for lower abs. The first half of the bicep and tricep workout is going to look like this. You're going to reach failure at 40 repetitions with a bicep curl, supersetted, superset means no rest, with overhead tricep extensions. You're going to rest for about 45 seconds before going on to the second set, where you're going to go a little bit heavier and reach failure at 30 repetitions. Set 3 is going to be 20 repetitions, and then you're going to increase that rest time to about a minute, minute and a half, where you're going to reach failure at 10 repetitions for the 4th set. Then you're going to perform that again, 10 repetitions after a 2-minute rest. That's the first half of the workout done. Before we go into the second half of the workout, I've started a foam roll halfway through now, as opposed to with the other workouts, I did it at the beginning. So we just do that before we get onto the superset of the bicep barbell curls and the tricep skull crushers. Starting off with our heaviest weight at 10 repetitions, and then we're going to rest for about 2 minutes before doing a second set of 10 reps barbell curl supersetted with tricep extension. And we shorten the rest time now to about a minute and a half, going up to the 20 repetitions where we lighten the weight a little bit, and now we shorten that rest time down to a minute before hitting 30 repetitions at a slightly lighter weight before finishing off with our final set of 40 repetitions. And then to finish off the workout, we're going to be hitting the lower abs, where we'll be performing 5 sets of hanging leg raises. We go to failure and then we rest for about 45 seconds. You're going to be consistent with this. Rest for about 45 seconds between every single set until you've completed 5 sets. Remember, the DTP program is a 4-week plan. The arm workout is the only arm workout that you're going to perform every week for the next 4 weeks. So don't deviate, don't try to spice things up yourself. Just do exactly what I say and what the program calls for. We'll be reaching failure at around 40 repetitions. So remember, select that weight where you're going to reach failure at 40 repetitions. Doing the overhead now because I really want to hit the rear head of the tricep. That's really my weakness. So I normally do overhead, making sure that I'm using a full range of motion, but not so far back where it relaxes on the tendons. I do keep the tension on the triceps the whole time. The pump is starting to get really tight now, but that's good because I know it's stretching the fascia of the muscle, which is the webbing that prevents the muscle from growing. So I know there's more growth happening there now, there's more nutrients get into the area, and I'm going to get a better defined, fuller look to the muscle. And making sure that you stretch again in between every set, because again, the idea here is to increase the flexibility or the elasticity of the fascia, and again to prevent injuries. So we're at our heaviest weight now, reaching failure 10 repetitions. So if for instance that you do misjudge the weight that you're doing, just continue to go until you reach absolute failure. Just because 10 is written down on the list doesn't mean you need to stop at 10. So what I'm doing just in between the pyramid now, only for like a minute or two, I'll just roll out the triceps. You know, what's great about, you know, bodybuilding is that you never stop learning. And I actually learned this about 7 months ago from the client that I'm training in India at the moment. His name's Riddick Roshan. He's like a big actor over there. I was dealing with a lot of injuries and he introduced me to this and it's been absolutely fantastic. So it's something that I try to practice before my workouts now and it really helps eradicate a lot of the problems. So I'm just slowly rolling up and down the triceps when I feel like a little bit of tension there or a bit of a knot or scar tissue. I'll hold it there, wait for the pain to radiate out a little bit and then I'll roll it out. So I'm only going to do the one arm today because I actually got a tattoo here last night. So I want to keep that, I want to stay away from that for this time, but normally you do both sides. We're going to go straight into the second half of the workout. We're going to be using free weights, barbell curls for biceps and skull crushers for triceps. The free weights are definitely going to be harder for a couple of reasons because I'm going to have to use my grip strength a little bit more and that I know going back down into transition it's going to be that much tougher because now the blood flow is really starting to set in, starting to get a huge pump and the lactic acid is also building up as well. Right, so that's our first set of 10. Again, it was just a little bit light for tricep extension, so we did about 14, 15 reps. That's okay as long as you go to absolute failure. What you may notice, I am swinging the movements a little bit, but this is a controlled form of cheating for me. I do recommend that people stay strict at all times. However, I know that by doing this, I'm able to get out a few more negative reps. By actually using a controlled form of cheating, it feels better for my joints and I get more emphasis on the muscle. So now we slightly increase the intensity by shortening the rest time down to about 1.5 minutes. So halfway through that set then, I figured that the 90 pounds are probably going to be too light for triceps, so I just went up with 100 pounds. Triceps in general will be a little bit stronger than biceps. Run by instincts to a certain degree. If you feel like going a little bit heavier one day, do it. If not, a little bit lighter, but apply the same amount of intensity on the muscle. You'll notice that I stopped and did a couple of rest pause principles where I just stopped for a few seconds, got my breath back, knocked out a few more repetitions just to get through the workout. You're gonna have to grit your teeth and really dig deep inside and like put yourself into some dark places just to make sure that you finish the rep range that you've got to go through. Ooh. So now we're done with arms. We're gonna go and hit some lower abs. It is lower abs, isn't it? The emphasis isn't so much on the DTP rep range here. You do want to make the reps count though. So we're just going to go to failure. And I'll just rest only for about 45 seconds because abs recover pretty quick, and then go again. I've got my legs slightly bent with my legs crossed. The reason why I've got the legs crossed is just to take a little bit of stress from my flexors. Halfway through the movement, I'll cross my legs the other way, so I put a little less stress on the initial flexor. As the exercise gets a little bit harder, I bring my knees in a little bit closer so I can just get out those extra last reps and just reach in absolute failure. Instead of counting the reps, just make the reps count. You know, regardless of if your form is just a little bit loose, if that works for you, but not sloppy, then that's fine. Just make sure that those reps count and you're feeling it exactly where you should be feeling it. Time to go again. All right. That's it for today. Arms and abs are done. So just gonna have the post-workout shake now and just concentrate on rehydrating, recovering, replenishing, and just hitting my cardio tomorrow to make sure that I keep my cardiovascular endurance up for these high repetitions. So the focus now is to recover as much as possible from this session so I can fuel up for the next, and that should be yours too. All right. So through this DTP arm workout, specifically starting with a higher rep range and the short rest periods, we were able to hit the type 1 muscle fibers. And then as the weight got a little bit heavier, we got to the type 2A muscle fibers and then finishing off with the type 2B muscle fibers. Once we got to the heavier rep range, we were able to open up that neuromuscular pathway and get a lot more blood to the area, a lot more nerve endings were activated, so we could really get all those motor neurons fired to properly contract the muscle fibers. And then the same on the way back down. However, now we've got a lot more oxygen and nutrient-rich blood to the area to really stretch out the fascia of the muscle to give it that fuller and denser look. To get more information and a breakdown of the DTP trainer, go to the overview episode, check out the video and the page below for all the information required. And furthermore, if you've got any questions for me, check out my Twitter page, Cage Muscle, or my Facebook fan page, or the DTP Body Group. And for more information like this, check out bodybuilding.com, and I'll see you for the next workout.